Now, that many of us don't have much idea about how much salt or sugar is contained in some of our favourite foods, but research for the Department of Healthe's Change4Life campaign suggests that 85% of those questions in England didn't realise that a pre-packed ham and cheese sandwich, for instance, contains more salt than a chicken tikka masala. 63% of those questioned were unaware there's more saturated fat in a pepperoni pizza than in fish and chips. And the research also suggests nearly 70% of us prioritise price rather than our health when it comes to food shopping, and 21% make meals based on how easy they are to prepare.
You have to turn over that pack, you have to read. And I know we're short of time, but guess what? Once you read that and you know that particular product, you know what's in there. You don't have to keep turning over every pack as you walk around your store, your supermarket, or whatever it is. People with families out there, find out that information. When the children see you doing it, then it's more likely that they'll be more informed and they'll feel a bit more relaxed about turning over a packet of whatever it is and reading what's actually in there.
Let's talk now to nutritionist Nicole. Good to see you, Nicole. I mean, are you surprised by those statistics? A lot of people have got busy lives, too busy to be reading the small print on packaging.
Well, it is very difficult because, you know, as we looked in that little clip, unless you actually look at the label, it is very hard to know. But what we do get out of this is that we do need to keep giving the same messages again and again, even though we might think, oh, we've heard this before. What we're getting is that we need to get the messages nice and clear, simple, and then to give achievable actions that people can take on at the end.
OK, so could the manufacturers help here? I mean, there's been a debate, as we've talked about before,
absolutely.
about
the labelling is always
packaging,
needed.
the labelling, what you put on it, traffic light systems and things like that. But it never seems to really
Whatever we can do to make it really accessible front of pack, that's what we do need to do. But again, to keep reiterating the same messages, people need to know where is the most likely place they're going to get salt from? What are the highest sources of it? They need to know the same for saturated fat. So if you're looking at saturated fat, you're looking at animal sources, things like pastries, sausages, cheese, and all the fatty meats. Then you know it's likely to have saturated fat. But again, you won't know unless you actually read the label.
I mean, and it's that thing when it comes to salt, isn't it, that you find salt in even sweet things, in breakfast cereals and things like that, where you wouldn't actually expect it to be. You have to look to find out.
Salt is the one that is really hard to know because one manufacturer might really reduce the salt and another one might not. So unless you look at the label, you won't know. But it's in things that you really don't expect, such as bread and the cakes and the biscuits. So it will be in places you don't expect. So anything in a package is likely to have salt and you're going to need to check the label.
But what is the incentive for the manufacturer to make it more easy for you to find out both how much salt or sugar or fat is in their product and how much of it you should have on a daily basis?
Well, it's got to be pushed from higher up, from public action and also from government to say this is what we need because we want to make the nation, to make it easier to give them healthy choices. We know that from this survey that people do want to make healthier choices and they do want to live a healthier lifestyle. So we need to do all we can to make it easier, and that's probably going to come a push.
But I mean, does it come down to education in schools, perhaps, get them young, as Ainsley Harriott was saying, but also, you know, individuals do not know. I can't off the top of my head, you know, remember how much salt is good to take in on a daily basis.
And that's why we
have
to keep repeating it because we are not going to remember. I mean, it's my job and I have to keep just rechecking labels and saying what's high in this one, what's low in this one. We need to keep reiterating the message, that keep putting it front of pack and give clear guidelines both in schools, multiple messages from all different areas, and then slowly we'll build up a picture. But as we know, we're going to forget, so it has to keep being repeated.
But I mean, I'm interested in what you do then. I mean, when you go out or have a takeaway or whatever, do you ask for the low-fat, low-salt chicken tikka? I don't know if you eat it or not, or the pepperoni pizza is one you avoid. People can say, you know, life's too short.
Well, you know, there is ways of enjoying life and still making it healthy, and that's what I try and achieve with both my patients and with my own lifestyle as well, because you've got to get that balance. You've got to have foods that you enjoy, but then you balance it. For example, if you want to reduce your salt, it's very easy if you're cooking your own food, or if you're out, if you know what to choose. So for example, if you have a pizza and you have a couple of slices, you know that the pizza is going to be high in salt, it's going to be high in saturated fat. But then if you put a salad next to it and you don't load it with lots of salty dressing, you've probably actually balanced that meal. So you've got the tasty bits and the healthy bits, and they actually all work really well together. And that's what I would say to do,
and Nicole,
mix it all up.
Yeah, I mean, does this go hand in glove with what a lot of people are doing this time of year, is trying to lose a few pounds or kilos? Because if you start thinking about your food, about what's in your food, about how it's constituted. You start thinking about what you eat, you start thinking about how much you're eating, and it would make dieting a bit easier.
Just a little bit of knowledge can help. So simple swaps, such as, for example, I said, reducing a couple of slices less of pizza, rather than having 4 slices, you have 2, and then you fill up your plate with a salad. You've still got a full plate. Having a full plate is something that I really believe in, but you fill it up with the bits that are healthier, more sort of less energy dense, reduced salt, reduced fat, and then you don't really realise it. You're still full because you're eating.
Okay, Nicole, some good advice there. Thank you very much indeed, Nicole Barbarian.
You're welcome.
We've got some good advice.